Alright, race fans, welcome to the iRacing Sim Series, race number 1 of Season 2 of any series in the iRacing Sim Series. My name is Colt, and I'm joined in the booth by Comrade,
What's good, everybody? How's it going? We ready to go racing?
as we have a 45 lap race here at Long Beach in the IndyCars. This is definitely going to be a fun one. So let's go ahead. Let's get rolling with this as we have a 10-minute practice so then everyone can get comfortable with their cars. Talk about a lot of this as 8K is here. Welcome in.
Whoa.
Yo.
We're getting that. Well, oh, the stream ended.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's just the kick and frame better, but welcome in. And we have a 10-minute qualifying before the race, and that's definitely going to be pretty exciting watching that. And I want to ask, 8K, you help commentate some of FP1. What was your takes from FP1, and how can you translate it to the race?
Shoot, to be honest, I feel like Tub is going to be a top runner. I mean, you can see he won both of the free practices. So, I mean, has a very fast car, so I feel like he's going to be in contention of winning this race here at Long Beach.
Yeah, and I mean, with you said, Tub being really fast, top of the charts, FP1 and FP2, but taking those both late in the race, so do you think Tub has a very good long-run car, if anything?
Yeah, depending on how he plays out his strategy, like if he changed anything overnight, seeing what he can improve on the short runs, because as you can see, when he was on the short run tires, he wasn't putting that great into laps until he warmed the tires up a lot, waited a little bit till the laps came down to the closing laps, and then he put in that amazing laps. So, I mean, I feel like he has the best long run car out of everyone, but the short runs, that could be a whole different story.
Yeah, and keep in mind early on in the season, everybody has the same, I rating, so it's playing level field. But as we go on throughout the season, people's ratings start to get lower and lower. So definitely this race, it's gonna be even battles. You're gonna have some locking up, then they go to the rear of the train. There's a lot that can really go wrong here today. And as a driver, what can you do to help minimize those mistakes?
Well, you have to minimize the mistakes during FP1 and FP2, because if you didn't minimize them, you keep on doing those same mistakes during the race. You're just gonna cost your car. You're probably gonna get a whole bunch of damage. You're gonna have to pit. That's probably just gonna take you out of the race most likely. So you can't have those mistakes that you were having in the practices. You just gotta run your best race and just try not to get wrecked out.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty good advice for some of these drivers is you had to make the most out of FP1 and FP2 and most of qualifying, keep in mind, because that's where you're going to be starting for this race, diving down into turn number 1. That's going to be interesting. And what else is interesting? That crash of Zombie in FP2 with Tub. So that was definitely very, very interesting to see, as we already have cars out on the track. Let me see who that is. It looks like...
I thought you were supposed to be streaming here, or am I just going to have to watch it off YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Hold up. Let me start streaming here. My bad.
Yeah, I was kind of confused. There we go. Thank you. Anyway.
As it's Water who's out on the track currently. He's on his out lap around the track in that number 26 Gainbridge car. And,
From watching practice, FP1 and FP2, it certainly seemed like both the alternates and the primaries had very similar uses, but the alternates were good for kind of more of a short run, and the primaries were definitely better on those long runs, had a little bit more grip to them
100%.
as the track kind of warmed up.
100%, because Tubbs had his fastest time in FP1 on the alternates.
And he changed, and he was using primaries earlier in the session, and then he switched to the alternates, and that really showed some speed in that car in later in the run, and that's what gave him that FP1 and FP2. I think he ran primaries most of it and then switched to the alternates later again, and who knows. I didn't watch a lot of FP2, to be honest with you.
yeah, and, keep in mind, track is still a bit worn out from that qualifying. And, Water can definitely still have a good run here today, but you're going to have to find that a bit later on as, Rubber's going to, come through from FP2 and qualifying to the race. So definitely at the end of the, race, it's going to be a lot of rubber laid down. And also keep in mind, alternates are not going to be as good you know, at street courses like this as they are at, for say, Iowa.
Definitely not, because those tracks have more rubber laid down, and this track maybe gets rubber laid down at every season or so, every maybe twice a season, if that depends on how many times they come to it. This track doesn't get as much rubber laid down as, like, say, Iowa or something. Or a track that, like, NASCAR would run on. That track has rubber from the stock cars running on it before them, and then rubbering up and gets them a little extra grip. So that definitely changes from track to track, as you would say.
Yeah, and I mean that's what makes the NTT IndyCar, you know, series so good to watch. Is you get to see the different strategy of the teams. Primarily, all these guys on the primaries. And let me just go ahead and take a little look over the rules here. And I believe it is because yes, they have to start the race with their qualifying tires, and they have to change their tires at least once during this race. Or actually, sorry, they have to change the tire compound once in this race.
Ooh.
So guaranteed pit stops. How do we think that's going to work in this race? Do you think you change a bit later on or early on in the race?
I feel like I feel like you should go for the undercut, especially if you're in second and you're trying to get past the leader that you've been behind for a little bit. Go for the undercut, in my opinion, because it's just a strong strategy that if you play it out perfectly, you're gonna get the lead. It's just gonna be a strong strategy.
I'd say, honestly, if I was them, I'd say run the car as long as you possibly can on those tires, and when it really starts getting bad, that's when you would need to probably come in the pit, which I do believe most of the drivers are probably going to do, if anything. But strategy varies from team to team, so who knows? Oh, car in the wall.
That was water. Let's see what happened with our instant replay.
Well,
This does
looked
have
like
a
he
bit.
went wide with the wall.
That was a very interesting part of the track. We've only seen them hit the wall around turn 8 and once at another spot in water.
See.
He's 2/10 down.
Let's see.
Now he goes
Right.
down the straightaway.
Oh,
Keep in
yeah,
mind, there's
well.
2 cars ahead of him. I want to say that's Juan and one of the Air McLarens. I want to say that was 8K just ahead of him. What happens to
Looks like
water?
he just
A lockup?
looks like a lockup.
Ooh.
Yeah, pounds the wall there.
Oh yeah, just
Yeah, just locked it up and went straight. No wheel turn at all when you lock it up. Just them front tires lock up and you can't turn it. We've seen it several times, especially in other sports like NASCAR and Formula One. When you lock it up, you're not going anywhere other than straight forward.
yeah. And let's get an onboard view. Maybe that wasn't a lockup because I never saw his tires stop.
No, he just
I think that was a bit of
looks like he
understeer.
missed the apex. Looks like he just missed the apex.
He either missed the apex or he just had a bunch of understeer.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he missed the apex. But... So, lock up there from one of the Aero McLarens.
Ooh. So that would be 8K.
Yeah, that's AK. Yeah, lock up going into that turn there. Little tire smoke.
Yeah, as you know, keep in mind, these drivers, they're wanting a clean racetrack, so most of these drivers are going to want to space themselves out for the dirty air reasons, but it seems like the 14 and the 3 are taking a different type of approach with the 14, just the back of the 3.
The old dirty air, you can't never avoid it. Any motorsport has it. NASCAR, Formula One, all those sports, you can't avoid it. There's no way. Doesn't matter how much you try. Heck, even IMSA, they have the rear diffusers, and those still produce just the smallest bit of dirty air. It helps a little bit, yes, but just not much you can do with dirty air, even if you try to get rid of it.
Yeah, as you saw that pass with Cam and Water, we're in qualifying. These drivers are still being very aggressive, trying to see where the track's at right now, and I mean, this is going to be pretty good, as we saw Cam make a pretty clean overtake on that number 26.
Yeah.
Me and Colt were talking about dirty air during free practice 1. We talked about, everyone thinks that you want to be the last person in line. You want to, because you think you're going to get the most amount of draft in the slipstream. But once you're entering a turn, that dirty air is just going to kill your car. It's just going to make you bad.
Yeah,
so I don't think you really want to be in the back, because all the dirty air from the other cars are just going straight onto your car, which is going to make your car slow down a lot.
Now, maybe if you're at a track that has banking in it, but on courses like this, there's dirty air is going to kill your car. Maybe if you have, like, on a track with banking, maybe that give you more of an advantage with the draft, but on a track like this, there's no way to draft up enough, and it's just going to catch dirty air going into the corner.
Yeah, and let's talk about this. Camry on pole so far, and Citrafari back in third, and guess what? He's third in this. My guess is that he set that lap before he got very close to these guys. And we'll continue to see these guys push their hardest, but I believe this will be not the last lap for these guys, but for some people crossing the line, it will be. For example, Connor just now crossing the line. From the lap times that I'm seeing, it'll be very close that they can make it back. So Connor on his out lap, and now we see the 48. He's been able to pull away from Water. He's now on his out lap, and the 77 of Camry, who is in provisional pole right now.
Looks like Tubb's going to take the third spot from Citrafari there with that lap.
We could see what Tubb did during free practice 1 and free practice 2. He was in third place before the session ended. Then he popped out on an amazing lap.
Yeah.
And then became to the top of the charts.
Tubbs definitely on some different kind of strategy compared to the rest of these cars. But if he's on those alternates right now, he's going to have to use those in the race. That's really going to affect his car early in the race with how little they wear, with how much they wear down early on.
And he was on the primaries, so looks like all of these drivers are on the primaries except for 2, Mulliman and 8K, both on the alternates early on in this qualifying. Some definitely
that could definitely shape up their run in the race if they have to use those to the start. So what do you do here? Do you pit early and get off those alternates, or do you stay on them and run them as long as possible?
As the checkered flag will wave, Comrade currently being the furthest car out on the track. As very interesting qualifying run here, Comrade a bit back, but keep in mind all of these lap times from 1st to 15th only separated by 7 tenths.
7/10 of a second.
In the top 10, separated by 1.3 tenths. So, or I'm sorry, 13 tenths.
Just Camry and Just Con separated by 3 tenths.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a big gap between some of these drivers, but I also think that some of these drivers did not get a good lap as they thought they wanted, or as good of a lap as they wanted. So definitely gonna be very interesting as you see Comrade pulling into the pits. Currently, Water is also out on the track right now, finishing up his lap.
But for those guys on the alternates, how do you think they will play out? Will they pit early and try and get to the primaries, or will they try and run the alternates as long as they possibly can before they have to pit with them?
I mean, I think definitely alternates are going to be a lot faster, and then you're going to have that drop-off. And that drop-off, whenever it happens, it's not going to be a small drop-off. That drop-off is going to happen almost, you're going to feel, oh, the car's all great, and then it's going to immediately fall off. I think that's what is going to happen if you're starting on those alternates.
But yeah, what would you do at that point? Would you try and run them, or would you run a couple laps and then just bring it in and get to the primaries and try and see if you can make up some time on track?
Mm-hmm. And let's bring up that question to 8K. You got us on the booth?
Yeah, my bad. I would probably say go into pits, not too early, but I would say try to stick out on the alternates as much as you can before they just start wearing down, because, like I said, there's 2 people on the track that set their fastest time on the alternates, so that's probably going to hurt them a little bit in the race. But I feel like you should try to go out as long as you can before you have to go in for the primaries.
It's definitely something to watch out for between those 2 drivers on the alternates here. But they didn't qualify as far forward as I guess I thought. Well, Zombie did. Who was the other one? It was Zombie and somebody else on alternates.
8K.
Yeah, 8K. Zombie definitely qualified well for what he was running, and 8K qualified 6th. But they didn't qualify as high as I guess. Well, I expected. I expected a little bit higher than that.
Especially them being on the primaries.
Yeah. Especially with everybody else being on the primaries. Looks like it takes the primaries a little bit to warm up, but when they warm up, it's going to be pretty bad for the alternate guys. Because those primaries have a lot of speed in them late in the race.
Yeah, and that will be pretty interesting to look at. And actually, currently, so it looks like some type of things have changed. Only 2 people qualified on that tire, but 3 people are now on the alternates. with Citrafari starting 4th. He switched.
That could be a very interesting turn of events here, as he's on alternates now. What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think we'll see here out of those 3 guys on the alternates? Do you think they'll kind of jump out ahead of everybody early and then just kind of fall off late in the race? Do you think they'll kind of ride around with them and then just kind of stay in that area with them, or do you think they'll just fall off at the start?
I
I feel
think.
like
Go ahead.
I feel like they'd be able to ride around with them for a little bit before they start falling off.
And
Yeah.
Like I feel like they'll be able to last a good 3 to 4 laps, and then they'll just start backing out and falling further and further.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I think that number 60 car of Citrafari made a good decision. Track temperature right now 108 degrees Fahrenheit, which means that those alternates are gonna stick well. They're gonna be sticking to the track. They're gonna get you the most grip, and then you're gonna see the primaries come in a bit afterwards. But at what point does the track get too hot to where your tires aren't able to stick as much? And that's what we're going to figure out in this race. And the weather today in Long Beach, it's a nice, 76 degrees. So it's a great day to go racing.
Yeah.
Long
Beach
got a
is
little
always
bit
a
of
good track.
I think you got a little bit of a crosswind. How do you think that'll affect some of these drivers in certain corners that's blowing in?
If you're definitely going into the corner, that's really going to upset the rear of your car. Not as much as the front, but definitely it's going to upset the rear of the car. It's going to try to push it around. So I think in the corners that we do see a crosswind, if you're side by side, at least somebody's hitting the wall or going around.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And another point that I want to bring up is how many safety cars do we think we're going to see in this race? I'm going to go ahead and start off with Comrade.
Well, after watching qualifying there with 1 car hitting the wall, but then watching FP2 and seeing all those cars kind of spin out around, I think we're going to see at least anywhere from 3 to 4 safety cars come out today.
And Isaiah?
That's a pretty good prediction, to be honest. I can't agree with that 3 to 4. I'm going to have to give it a solid 3.
Yeah, and I think those are both very good predictions. But I'm going to go a little high. I'm going to say 5 safety cars for today's race.
You're a little bold with your predictions here today, but
Yeah.
after watching FP2 and seeing all those guys kind of slap the wall a little bit and then kind of lose front wing, a lot of damage to those front wings early in the FP1. So who knows? It all depends on how well these drivers kind of, I guess, manage this track.
And this will all be figured out very soon as the pace car will roll off. And let me just cycle through the grid really fast. On pole, Camry. Then it's going to be Just Con, Tub, and Citrafari. Mulliman and 8K. Row number 4, Cam and Chris. Row number 5, Zombie and Connor. Row number 6, Comrade in Florida. Row number 7, Juan and Water. Row number 8, rounding out the field, Cole Car Guy had a bit of trouble in FP1. But seems like they've all figured it out. As we get ready to take the green flag here, everybody gets lined up, and it's green flag away at Long Beach. 77 will take the green.
And heading towards turn 1. That 77 opens a little bit of a gap here on Just Con, as that outside lane gets going really well here early, heading into turn 1 as they have the preferred line. Heading into that corner.
That Air McLaren just trying to make its way through the field, but
Everybody single files out through this corner. Ooh.
It's actually a smart move because you don't want to go too far deep. Like, you don't want to send it side by side in that corner because you could end up having a wreck.
Definitely not with how tight that corner is. There could definitely be some contact between each other, and someone's going to end up hitting the wall, I believe.
Yeah, as you just saw, the 28 taking the defensive line in that corner. 8K goes a little wide. That's going to open up the gap for the 48. Do we see him try to shoot the gap into turn 8? Yes, we do. The 48 and the 5 side by side. It's not going to work. Or, well, it will work, but the 5's going to hold on to the position. And now look at that 29 just behind the 48.
Top 3 is now pulled away from this little small pack back here. Looked like one of them got loose, and that really caused everybody behind him to slow up.
I mean, what a restart from Camry, though.
Yeah, Camry just pulls off from the field there.
I mean, well, that was an electric start from Camry.
And now we get to see how dirty air can affect some of these cars here as they're all single-filed out here, heading back down towards turn 1.
Yeah, as we see the 5 of 8K. He's taking his normal line, but the 28 going back in the defensive. Will that defensive line work in this race? When does it start coming into play? And let's take a look at Camry just up front, still leading. Then it's going to be Just Con behind him. Then it's going to be Tub, a really strong contender, back in third in that dirty air. And the 28 has a little break in the air.
Oh, can you reopen the stream? It closed.
Oh, yeah.
Oops.
I can't. Thank you.
There we go. Yeah, just Con right behind Camry, trying to catch up to him, but Camry's just pulling away from him. Camry, like I said,
Camry definitely seems to have a very strong car here. So we thought
Yeah.
Tubb was definitely going to be one of the strongest competitors, but he is running third behind Just Con. Is Camry. Citrafari makes his way up into fourth now. I think, is that where he qualified? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think that is.
Okay. But now will we see those guys who are on alternates start kind of fading back soon?
I believe we will. I mean, alternates, they were a good tire for qualifying since it's a short amount of time, but now it's the beginning, it's the race. It's just not a good tire to be on.
Yeah, and a pretty interesting thing to look at is the guys that are leading off the second pack are both on alternates. So, I mean, we're seeing them start to form a little bit of a gap, but will it be enough to pull away from these and start heading towards the leaders now that your tires are warmed up?
I don't think it will. These leaders are just rocketing away from everybody as Camry continues to open up a gap to those two behind him. It's just, wow. Camry just comes out of nowhere with a fast car, but Just Con's kind of closing the gap a little bit now.
Yeah,
Later.
Tubb, my bad for cutting off. Tubb in the pre-practices did really good, but now you can see in the race, he's still P3. It's just that he's losing time against the leaders, and he's just trying to catch back up, but it's not working that well so far.
Camry definitely seems to have the better corner exit than Just Con does. Just Con kind of has a better entrance, but Camry just has a way better drive off.
Yeah, and something that I want to put out is 8K has the fastest lap of the race, going 5/10 faster than the leaders. So definitely, I think we're seeing those alternates come into play, but will it be enough to catch up to those leaders? Citrafari also being really fast this lap, being a couple tenths faster than leaders as well, and I'm not sure about Tubb.
I feel like if there is a right race caution, you will see some people put on the alternates because it's a short run, and they might want to try and get a little extra speed, but then that might come into play later. If we do have a late race, yellow.
Yeah, and that's my apologies. The 60 is still on the primaries, and you can see the 28 just catching up in the background. Let's go ahead. Let's put it on our blimp cam, as you can just see the gap between the two currently, and it is closing quite fast.
So alternates definitely coming in a little bit stronger here now. But how long will they stay like that?
I mean, that's a big question. You can see this entire front pack all right there right now. And it looks like they're turning in a bit later than what you're normally used to. See the 28 just in the corner there. I mean, this is a really, really beautiful street course, as right in the city of Long Beach, and you know, it's such a great city to be racing here today.
Yeah, definitely.
As we now see the
Just
77 take the defensive line.
Just kind of was trying to look at the outside, it looked like, trying to make something happen. Looks like he's going to close the gap a little bit due to that line.
Yeah, that 77 has to be very defensive now.
Yeah.
Now, we do see push to pass. They have 10 seconds allowed in this race. Nobody's used it yet. I think they're all saving it till the end. We're only on lap 5 out of 45, so definitely a lot of racing still to go in this race, but basically there's a lot left in this race, and there's a lot that you can still do. And I think one of the things that we need to be watching is that gap, 28 and the 60. That has closed up a whole bunch since the last time.
Well, if you look back towards the back of the pack, you got about several cars that have kind of closed the gap a little bit there. They were about 7 seconds back from the leaders. They're now about 4 seconds back following that 28 car.
So leaders' gap is kind of closed in on them. As let's take a look at just the speed of these cars now. As I mean, of course, entering the corner not going to be that fast, but exiting, that's when they're going to put the power down, and you can just kind of see that Surprised that the 77 hasn't gone back to the defensive line yet, trying to break the toe, but I think we see him do it right here down the backstretch.
Yep, right there. He dives to the inside. And he'll be able to keep his lead. Just a lot of single file racing at this track. Not very wide, so there can't be really a lot of passes.
Yeah, but there's definitely passing points that you can get past. And look at the 28. He's brought that entire line of cars, like Conrad mentioned. The toe keeping them in there. And the 5 also keeping their toe. But look at the gap. The 28 is really closed in. Maybe about 5 to 6, maybe 7 car lengths back. But he has gained massively on this 4-car pack, and I think we're about to see a 5-car pack.
The question is, where do you make your overtake? Because this track is pretty tight. There's not that much places to overtake at. So where do you think you should make your move at?
I think in this corner coming up right here. Down this straightaway. We've seen it happen many times with, the 48 and a lot of other,
Now Camry has opened up a huge gap to the back of that 51 of JustCon.
And now JustCon's having to take the defensive line. The 28's now joined that pack.
JustCon looks kind of slow now compared to the rest of the pack behind him.
There's a lockup by the 77. Not much happening right now. Keep in mind, these drivers are probably wanting to save their tires, save a lot of things for the end of this race. And look at the 28. He has those fresh alternates. Do we see them use the push to pass? That's the big question that we're trying to answer. And look, these 3 cars that were up there, they fell back. Camry's opened up that gap to 1.7 seconds. He's way up there. Now the question is how can these guys respond to that? I think the 28 needs to be the leader of the charge here.
Yeah, personally, I do think the same as well.
With the kind of speed he's showing right there, towing pretty much that whole backpack behind him, he should definitely try and get to the front of that pack and see if he can pull them all and see if he can pull them back to Camry. Because with them being behind JustCon, everybody behind the 28 has lost some time now. Because they were just 4 seconds back, and now they're about 7 seconds back looking at some of the intervals up at the top.
I mean, really, I don't see much change happening right now. I think that dirty air is starting to come into effect for that 28. The 5, so then mediocre air, but that 48 kind of back there. A lot of these tires are going to start wearing here pretty soon. I think the 77, mainly of that, is just clean air. He's able to get out there, have that clean air, and he's able to make it work.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Clean air definitely is an advantage, especially at tracks like this.
Yeah, Mullet Man just right there. He's trying to make something work here, trying to find a line that'll help him, but it looks like he's kind of falling back just a bit now. Seems like he's not having the pace that he wants. I think about lap 15 to 20, we'll see these drivers that were on the alternates start to pit.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to start pitting probably now, actually. Because the tires are going to start falling off very, very quick now. It's not even funny how fast these drivers are going to just start falling away.
When those alternates give out, they just drop off a cliff at this point in the race. JustCon taking that really deep defensive line down into the turns.
Yeah, Camry. He added an electric start, like we said.
Now is up to 3.5 second lead.
Camry so far dominating this race.
Yeah. There's some other guys trying to take the defensive line further back in the field.
Yeah, this is interesting. The 7, he was running up there with the leaders, but now he's kind of got a gap between him and the 2-car of Zombie. Interesting to see what happened there, but we'll continue to watch this live, and we'll continue to, cover this race live. But at the same time, while we're early on in this race, we will go to what we would call our NASCAR side-by-side, but this time it's for IndyCar. So now, on to side-by-side.
Ever dreamed of driving a real cup car? Well, now you can. This is the fan controller.
What the? Tony, what are you doing? It's possessed.
That was completely inappropriate.
What was that all about?
Don't be conventional.
Kevin Harvick?
Be exceptional. Upgrade to Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. It helps your engine last over 250,000 miles.
Wow. What's he doing?
Raving.
He's exceptional.
So is Mobil 1. Yes.
Is this good?
I do not know.
Get 250,000 miles of protection. Upgrade to Mobil.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that former pro football player Ickey Woods will celebrate almost anything?
Number 44.
Woo! 44, that's me!
Get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts.
Woo! Give me some!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
44, ladies, that's me! Woo! Gonna get some cold cuts today.
Fly the blimp, too much hot air. Race announcer, same thing there. Wouldn't get a word in with you know who. Just get down on the track and do what you do. Slide down in my seat, pull the belts tight. Get up on the wheel and let the dust fly. Never know how. Never know how.
Oh, look at Kyle Busch out there.
Yeah, he is all over the track.
I mean, what has gotten into him today?
Oh, that cannot be good.
Oh, unbelievable.
Whoa, look out.
Wait a minute. Is Kyle in reverse?
Yeah, you don't see that every day. Okay, that is bad,
man.
bad driving.
Oh, this is not like Kyle at all.
Are we winning?
I thought you were looking.
M&M's makes race day more fun.
What is Kyle thinking?
As we get back to you at the iRacing Sim Series, caution flag will be out for Florida Boy. Very interesting.
Can't really tell if he hit the wall or if he blew an engine.
I think he definitely hit that wall in turn 8 like we've been seeing drivers do all week.
It looked like he had some front wing damage. I couldn't tell. Let's see. We'll see here. Oh, nice. Thank you for the great camera view.
Oh, I know. We are looking at the best cameraman in all of iRacing history right here.
Yeah. We
right
got
now.
This is just like Fox Sports.
And
right here, you just
hit the wall.
Went in too hard. It looks like he had somebody hit him in the rear. I wonder if someone did hit him or if they managed to get by it without.
No, so I think Water was doing good, and you see them all try to scramble, and that's gonna be.
I think Water kind of clipped the front wing coming off the wall. Watch there. Looks like he hit when Florida hit the wall. If you see, the front wing will come back
out
onto the track, and looks like Water kind of just clipped it there.
Yeah, because Water, he kind of
right there, see? Just kind of clips it.
The 8 as well of Juan, he also hits it. Let's go on board the 26 who saw it all just from behind. And, of course, with this caution being brung out, do you switch tires right now? That's the question. As you see, the 14 goes way wide into the wall, and
Yeah, I would switch tires here. You get that free pit stop under the safety car.
And you don't lose exactly as much positions, to say the least. Right there. Ooh, big, no wonder he didn't make it back to pit road. That wheel is all tore up right there.
Yeah, the suspension's gone.
Yes. No, and looks like he just got loose through the corner and just kind of back end slid around on him.
I think maybe not as loose as tight. I mean, you see him try to turn in, and whenever he tries to turn in, I think you see the car get a little upset at the rear end. I mean, you see him turn in,
Might be that crosswind you was talking about.
That is true.
Early.
I think might be that crosswind pushed the car.
Just might have got him at the wrong angle and just kind of sent him a little bit wider than he wanted to go.
As pit lane is open and everybody dives down.
Everybody is bringing it. Let's see. Will we have a new leader coming off pit road?
We can see how fast these pit crews are going to be.
If they just... Where are the pit stalls? Okay, there. Pit crews are just in ghost at this point.
Dead.
The pit crew. What pit crew? Yeah, it looks like Camry's just going to maintain position. Looks like it won't be much of a race off pit road. This isn't NASCAR. We can't do that.
Yeah, we don't have 2 second pit
Oh, looks
stop,
like someone
guys.
stopped on pit road.
That's
looks like
Florida.
a stall. Oh, never mind.
So it looks like to me, JustCon stays on the primaries, and then
JustCon is apparently going to be the leader.
Yeah, so JustCon will be on the primaries. Then Camry, Tub, and Citrafari all on the alternates. And then you have Mullet Man back on the primaries. Zombie, Connor, Water on the alternates. 8K on the primaries. And then you have Cam, Cool Car Guy, Chris, Conrad, and Juan also on the alternates, as that 51 is now going to be your new leader.
This definitely... Did JustCon stay out, or did he come down pit road and just beat him off pit road?
So, I think the 51 might have just... Let's take a look at that. With our,
Great camera view. Are absolutely stunning. We got Brett Bodine up there running cameras or something. Let's see. Looks like let's see here.
He stayed out? He stayed out.
He stayed out. Ooh. That could be an advantage with how everybody's been running single file. That might just be an advantage. They might just stay behind him.
No, keep in mind, IndyCar, they do restart single file.
Yeah.
So that could make it interesting if they all just agree to follow JustCon around, or will they try and make a pass? What do you think they'll do here?
I think most of these drivers are going to get past him, really. I think he's just going to get freight trained by it. I mean, you're already seeing drivers try to make other lanes work. As Pace Car will pull in this time. They're going to start stacking it up. They're going to see whenever he goes. But remember, he can't go till that front stretch until the Pace Car is in. So that's going to be interesting. 77's definitely going to...
Pace Car doesn't really turn, just kind of floats.
No, Camry had an electric start on the actual start of the race.
And there's the green flag. We're back underway. JustCon gets a great restart.
Oh my gosh, what a start by JustCon. Camry got caught sleeping.
Camry was not ready for what just happened.
Keep in mind, as these tires warm up, that's when, Camry's going to have the advantage. When his tires are warm, but the others aren't. But I think we're going to see Camry's tires start to warm up, and he's going to take that entire train with him in the next couple of laps.
Definitely, and JustCon is just kind of going to get left in the dust here.
Thing is, though, do you want to be in the big train when you're coming into a turn? Because you're still going to get that dirty air and that performance.
With that dirty air, I have no... It's not a question I can really answer.
Because that's going to hurt your performance on your car.
I feel like maybe you don't want to be behind, but if one car's just pulling everybody forward, then yes, I would kind of want to be in there.
Sure.
If they're gaining ground, then maybe it would be better to just stay in that line and not try and lose more ground than you've already lost.
Oh, in the 70... Never mind. It's just my map. But, sorry. Whenever they go through that corner, it looks like everybody stopped, but it doesn't. So, I wouldn't be surprised if I do that again. But, keep in mind, it's going to take a few laps. It's going to take about 5 to 6 laps for these tires to get in their prime, optimal running conditions. 77 is going to take the defensive line on Tub.
See, Tub wanted to go for that move. He just couldn't.
Looks like watching the intervals, you got some interesting stuff going on in the back of the pack. The 9 was just in 9th, and now he's dropped back to 13th. Scrapping back there. He was just in 9th and just falling off right now.
Yeah.
Like getting past. It looks like he's getting passed by those guys on the alternates.
But I think, Comrade is on the alternates as well. So, really, I'm surprised that JustCon's tires been able to hold up that well for that long. And now we're seeing Camry make the breakout from the pack. We're seeing him now charging towards the front. Hopefully, he can take everyone else that were on the alternates to that 51 of JustCon. And that's interesting how these tires are going to play out. I think, personally, if I was JustCon's crew chief, I say come in, get the alternates, we're on fresh air. But they wouldn't be on fresh air because then the 77 of Camry would have.
You just blow past him with the rest of that field behind him.
Yes, that'll be interesting how impatient these drivers get while catching up. Looks like Camry's still losing a bit of time, but it's not as much as he used to be. He used to be losing tenths after tenths after tenths, but now it's hundredths after hundredths.
Ooh, losing more time. Well, no, he's gained. He's not falling off as much, but I'm surprised JustCon's tires have held up this far compared to those guys on those fresh tires.
Yeah, but just, give it maybe the end of this lap, and that'll all change, I say.
Definitely interesting here.
Since tires are going to actually start being warmed up now, so you're going to see a big difference.
And actually, talking about tires and temperatures, the track is actually cooled 3 degrees.
Ooh. Could be better for either... I don't know if that's going to be better for the primaries or for the alternates here.
It might take them a little longer to warm up, as, Camry's still losing maybe 4/10 this lap, as we see the photographers right there getting real close to this action right now. But Florida Boy maybe half a track ahead. Florida has been able to get out. They replaced that front suspension. But
he's 2 laps down, though. So
yeah, so his contention of winning is in the fate of crashes.
Well, it doesn't look like much else. It looks like the only way right now, the only way you're going to get the lead is if you stay out on the pit cycle.
Yeah.
Tub wants to go for something again on Camry. He says Cameron keeps on running the defensive line on Tub, and he just can't get there before that tight turn.
And what we're seeing is Josh Kahn's able to run laps like you would in practice. But all these guys back here are still heating their tires up. It's going to take a little bit for those tires to get an optimal running, and then they're just going to be charging. As you see, Tub trying to take the outside, but 77 holding that defensive line.
This is quite the very interesting race.
Connor, after being really good practices, is now in
Why are these
P7.
guys speeding? There's a speed limit sign right there. They are obviously speeding. It's the cops at when you need them.
Where the popo at?
I don't know. Probably the same. I bet you the safety car will be considered the police. Because safety car probably be considered police here, but
I mean, it's the safety car. Sleep.
Safety car, bro. These dudes doing way over the speed limit. Can't be doing that. Just Con is just opening up a huge gap here. That clean air is just awesome for cars at this point.
He's just going on the alternates or the primaries.
He's on his tires that he's been running for forever, and I think we're actually seeing Camry start closing the gap here.
It's like a little bit. I think he's closed it by maybe a 1/10 of a second. No, he's closing it. He's closing it by 10. He is closing by a couple tenths. Nope, he just lost time.
Keep in mind, Just Con's on a straightaway right now, so he's going to be gaining time on them, but the 77, he's going to have that better speed, the better grip. All of this, it's going to help him in the long term as we see him try to break the toe once more, but he's still going to be running very, very competitive laps, and I think he's going to bring this entire pack with him.
Yeah. Just Con has now opened up to a 6-second lead over the rest of this field.
And Tub, he hits his back, and that slows the field down. Tub did have contact with Camry.
That could damage his front wing and really damage his aerodynamics here, and that could cause some problems for him.
And that did.
Later.
Look at his front wing, the right part of it, or the left part. It has some damage.
That could be a problem for this 12 team. I can't remember who it was for the life of me there.
Penske.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just see what happened.
See here. Looks like he tried to force it in there and get that pass and just
hit him
right in the back bumper there.
Take a little bit of a closer look here.
Going into this little hairpin type turn. Camry kind of slipped up the track and Tub thought he could get it in there and just right into the back of him. You can see right there. And that might cause some aerodynamic problems for this 12 team.
I mean, yeah, I think without a doubt we're going to see some type of aerodynamic issues with this 12. Not having as much downforce, I think a caution is really what he needs, and that maybe could have caused a caution if he would have, dove it down a little deeper in there. But,
spun Camry out.
Currently we're seeing Just Con's tires start to fade, and 77, his tires are kind of just now coming in, and I think this lap we're going to see 77 start to gain maybe a bit, or it's going to be pretty even this lap, but the 51, his tires are going to start to, going down pretty soon.
Well, didn't get slowed down too much now, as he's still staying right behind that 77 of Camry.
Keep in mind, he's also in that toe down the straightaways. If he wasn't in the toe, he would be dropping back really far now. I wonder what happened to the 60, maybe a lockup.
Maybe.
As the gap to Camry's only gone up by a 10th during this lap, but definitely we're going to see these tires start coming into play, and if we do see these guys come in one more time, what tire do you go on then? Because I think we see...
I think we see kind of a split field. I think we see some take primaries, and I think we see the ones who have been better on the primaries take the primaries, and then the ones who have been better on alternates take the alternates. But that depends on how long the run is, really. If it's a long run, you probably want to take primaries. But if it's a short run, then definitely go with the alternates, because they have a little bit more short run speed than the primaries do.
Speed.
Yeah, and guys, it's happening. Camry faster than Justcon on that lap. And he's gaining.
Camry has now warmed up his tires enough. So what do you do here? Do you think you just bring it down pit road since they're starting to close?
Bring it down. No, personally, I would bring it down pit road, hope you have a fast stop, and then get out as close as you can to Camry, and then charge back up on him.
Definitely. I'd say try and pit and see if you can get a... Maybe if you have a fast enough pit stop, you can get out ahead of Camry. You have a 6-second lead.
Yeah, keep in mind, average time lost in the pits is about 60 seconds worth, and we're now seeing that 60 of Citrify also take the defensive line.
Just kind of opens up the gap to now 7 seconds.
Yeah.
7.6 seconds.
Well, Justcon's actually pulling away from them a little bit.
Yeah, and Florida Boy, he's into the pits. He was out on the track for a bit. They got that suspension repaired. But now what happened to that 14 that made him brought it down? Looks like a bit of aero damage. But they put him on the alternates, and now he goes 3 laps down, but he's going to be merging right in the back of the field, possibly ahead of Juan. No.
Nope.
And that last lap for Camry was a second slower.
Ooh.
He wasn't going to get ahead of Camry because that pit exit rule, you can't cross over that line, or you will be getting a penalty.
Now what do we see Connor do? Zombie takes the defensive line. My guess is he'll take it again. Does Connor have a good enough run on the outside? I don't think he does.
Nope.
Arrow McLaren, they did really good in the practices. It's just that now in the race.
Now Justcon's opened up an 8-second gap to Camry. Do we see him come in soon?
I really don't think we do. I mean, I think we see that 51. He's on old tires, though. I think we see him wait a bit until maybe a lap 35, maybe a little bit later on in the race. He comes in for another set of tires, but he's going to go on the alternates because he took primaries.
I would say he comes in like maybe lap 37, comes in for the alternates, and then just a dash to the end.
Basically. I expect everybody to come in around lap 35, maybe lap 40, or either just try and stretch it out at this point and see if you can get there from here.
Yeah,
that's gonna be bad though, because once you really think about it, the tire wear is just gonna kill you, and then if you're staying out when the other people pit, they're just gonna gain so much time on you because their tires are brand new and you're still on the old tires and you're just consistent.
Thing to think about. There's always that thought in the back of your mind about a late race caution. Like, what if you pit and right after you, and like right as you're heading down pit road, caution flag flies. There's always that thought in the back of your mind. You don't really want to risk that.
Yeah, but I mean, for some of these teams, that's just a risk that you're going to have to take. Let's go ahead. Let's pull up a comparison on how different these fields are going right now. Justcon in the pits.
Justcon has brought it down pit road. Now, brings it down pit road to lap 25. We'll just say lap 25 here. Here comes Camry and the rest of the field around the outside. And they're going to go back, and Camry's going to go back to the lead. Over that 51 of Justcon. And that's going to really, Justcon's about to drop to the rear at this point.
I mean, he's already way back there. With the 12 of Tubb just being behind the 77, we know that Tubb is really fast. Fastest in FP1, fastest in FP2. We're on this last kind of 21 lap sprint. I think we see all of these guys come in at least one more time. But how much time will Justcon have ahead of these guys if he pits? Or if everyone else pits?
Could be, well, that depends on how far back he is. If he's right at the tail of the field, then he's going to pretty much have this race won. But if he's
big crash! In the back, I believe that's the Air McLaren of Connor. Huge crash. Zombie involved. That'll bring out the safety car. And that is just what that 51 needed. A massive pileup to bring out that safety car.
Big wreck between the two Air McLaren teams, it looks like.
I think that wasn't of all the Air McLarens. I think the 7.
It looks like the 7 and I think Zombie. Let's see what happens here.
I think Zombie hits the wall and stacks up everyone. I could be wrong, but
Let's see
I
right
saw
here.
that 7 go up in the air a bit.
Let's
oh yeah,
see.
Zombie locks it up, gets a bit tight maybe,
and comes back across the track and just.
I mean, you see the 2 hard into the wall, and then the 7
then spins him out. This is big news for that 51 team as they have just pit.
Yeah, and I don't think that's major damage to the 7 car. I think he can definitely continue. Actually, no. I think. Crap.
Looks like I think he hit the wall there.
Maybe a slight tap to the wall. But definitely interesting is we're gonna bring back up this and
let's see here. Let's look again.
I think he definitely has rear tire damage.
Probably has a little bit of front wing damage looking there.
Yeah, look at that rear tire. The suspension broke. We've seen Florida Boy come back out after that, but
2 laps down is the penalty.
He was 2 laps down after that. Looks like he keeps it off the wall.
His teammate 8K manages to get past him.
Yeah, let's ride on board 8K. Talking about him.
How far behind was 8K when the crash happened? Or was he just... No, he was right there. Yep, just kind of threads the needle there between the 2 cars. It's going to give him 2 spots and everybody else behind them 2 spots except Florida Boy, who's still... It's going to give Florida Boy one of his laps back. If IndyCar does that, I have no idea.
Yeah, we will give Florida the wave round.
Florida will get... He is now back on... He is now 1 lap now.
Yeah, but I mean, look how... close this was to water. He was just watching, track ahead, and boom! Crash.
Right there. Just goes right through the middle there. Surprised nobody hit him from the back with that big checkup he did there.
Yeah, and that's...
So what do you do here? Do you pit and go on the alternates, or do you hope that another caution comes out?
Looks like they're bringing it down pit road.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers, except for
Florida.
Florida.
They got one staying out. Florida stays out. Oh, he's
really,
a lap
that's everyone versus Florida, though. He's getting his lap back.
Well, it depends on if did Justcon stay out or did he bring it too?
Justcon stayed out.
Yep. Figures after just pitting like that, I figured he would have stayed out.
And IndyCar has now moved it to double foul restarts for this.
Ooh, makes it interesting. And looks like someone gains a couple spots. That Water gaining some spots.
That's Water gaining a lot of spots off pits. Same with the 3 of Cool Car Guy. And Zombie and Tub. I mean, not Zombie and Tub. Zombie and Connor. Both in the pits still. But very interesting strategy. As we do see, if you did pit, everybody, if you pitted, you're on the alternates. The only car on the primaries, Justcon. And now with this being a side-by-side restart, what does that mean down into turn 1? You're all going to be aggressive. And, in fact, the only 2 cars to use any of their push to pass this race, Water and Justcon.
That is quite interesting, but it all really depends on which line you get. Do you get the preferred line on the inside? Do you get that outside lane and get the preferred line to the next couple of corners?
I mean, those are all big questions here that I think most of us have for this race.
Yeah. But still not much. Still a long way to go in this race, so a lot can happen. Not really. It's all been single file.
Well, no, but I mean, late races, they're going to start using their push to pass. You're going to see some decent racing like we did at the end of FP1.
And pace car makes its way onto pit road. The 51 is the control car.
Oh, that 77 on the new tires. They've been doing an outlap. They're not going to be at optimal tire conditions, but they, for sure, are going to have some temperature in it. Connor and Florida Boy both getting back out onto the track. Zombie with that major left-hand side damage. He's not going to be able to get out. But keep in mind, Florida and Connor, they're both like just getting on the track right now, so they're definitely not going to be up there with that pace,
Here comes here they come, heading down through the corners, getting ready to go back green. Here at Long Beach. Pace car is going to make its way onto pit road this time. Pace car makes its way on the pit road as we go green.
Here you go. Green flag back in the air.
51 gets a great jump on that inside lane.
Yeah, but Cameron's not done charging.
Camry trying to make up some ground here as they head down towards turn 1. Do we see any aggressive moves here?
Look at the 12. Tub
Tub
trying to make that pass.
Tub side by side with Camry, doesn't get past him. Falls back to single
and they
file
all
for coming to
single
the
file
tight
out.
hairpin.
Oh, we got one guy pinned on the outside.
Who was that?
One was pinned on the outside there heading into that corner. Couldn't tell who it was from where we were watching.
Now
on
that restart, I saw everybody use their push to pass. So I think these drivers are getting a lot more aggressive. Of course, JustCon way out there. He just got fresh tires. Gonna be warm. These guys have to keep their tires up in the temperature, but still incredible for some of these guys to be using their push to pass this early on. I thought they were only going to use it about 10 laps to go, but no, they've started using it way before.
They're trying to be aggressive here with just not many more laps to go in this race.
And I mean, this could all really change in the fact of one crash, really. One stack up, one this, one that, as, you know,
that's all you're thinking about is that leader. The only thing you think about is that leader is, oh, please don't there be a yellow. When you've got this big of a gap, the only thing you can think about is just not having a yellow flag, really.
Yeah, but have we gone 15 laps without a caution yet?
I think we have, haven't we?
I don't think so. I think we had a caution right on that 15. So
yeah,
it's going to be close for this leader, especially since they're going to be so more aggressive now. They're going to be wanting to pass. They're going to, you know, want to do this and that and this. But you have to wait. You have to kind of sit back and watch what's going to happen. You have to learn right now, so then you can make that pass.
Definitely.
As that's
coming
just
back in the pack with nothing going on, it looks like the 9 has made it from 13th to 9th.
Yeah,
definitely making up a couple spots there.
So big improvements for him, and I mean, really, just these drivers need to start getting more aggressive. With that clean air, that's whenever you start to make that gap. And let's look at how spaced out they are. Here comes the leader. That's JustCon, and here comes a 77 in this entire pack.
Just kind of like a tow truck. He's just pulling like a freight. It's like a train. He's the lead engine, and everything behind him's just getting pulled behind him.
Yeah, and possibly even slowing them, I want to say.
Possibly. Who knows? Well, it depends on if they're trying to drive it in a little bit deeper than that car in front of them. If they're trying to, and it might hold them up a little bit, and that might cause a lot of traffic in the back to be jammed up.
Was that the 3 of cool car guy that we saw in the crash?
Oh, got one car on the pits. Is that cool car?
I think it is.
Go back and look.
Yeah, let's take a look.
I think that was him who got pinned on the outside.
That might have been a caution.
Ooh, let's see what happened. If he wrecked, that could be.
Oh, yeah. He definitely got out, but the question was he in that last crash? No, this is on the restart. I think this was the car that you're talking about, pinned on the outside. Yes,
right there,
yeah, his tire. So that will bring out the caution.
Oh, yellow flag is out.
Another late race, and that's why we don't go side by side right there. Take a look at this. Wall.
It's so tight right through there.
I mean, I think
right there is just bang. Just right there, just wow. Big hit there.
The car behind him must have had damage too.
I don't think they hit him. I think they managed to just barely avoid it. If you watch.
Let's go on board.
He just barely avoided him there.
I mean, it's such a slow part of the track whenever you're entering in there. So definitely, you know, there's some that you can do to help avoid that, but really, if he hits the wall, he hits the wall, and that's that. And every car that was a lap down will get your lap back. And let's go ahead. Let's ride on board the 3 of cool car guy who did get squeezed into that wall. He did make contact with him, trying to tell him that he was there, but no space was given.
None. Just no space was given there to that 3 car. Now, do we see anybody pit, or did they just stay out since they just pitted? What do you say?
Oh, that was a hard hit.
Yeah, big hit. But what do you say here? Do you think they stay out, or do they bring it in?
I feel like we're going to see people pit, especially like JustCon maybe, because he is on the primaries feel like he wants to switch over to the alternates, maybe.
That cool car guy coming out behind the pace car.
So we'll see them hit next time, Pi. And keep in mind, the 3 will get his lap back. And a lot more as well. So cool car guy will get his wave around currently.
Seems like a perfect time to go to commercial break.
Yeah, and actually, while we're on the topic of that,
commercial.
Yeah, let's switch over to commercial as they make their way to the pits, and then whenever they get to the pit lane, we will switch back. So, in the meanwhile, commercials.
Heck yeah.
Game on, fellas. You guys are going down.
Oh, it's on now. Let's do this.
Are you guys sure you drive for a living?
You guys ever played a video game before?
Is that all you got?
Joey out of nowhere.
Dude, did you just put me in the wall? He's got me on the high side.
Whoa, watch him low.
Look out. Dang, Joey, you're smoking today.
Just like Kyle's car.
Thank you, cover boy.
And Joey's bringing the heat.
How are you so much better than us?
Hey, Kyle, is that NASCAR Heat Evolution?
Wait, who's playing the game then?
Eat my brake dust.
Pre-order now at NASCARheat.com.
As we are back for the iRacing Sim Series, as they will make their way through the last couple of corners before. This is going to be interesting. You have...
Yes, definitely.
Drivers might want to change tires, and when I say drivers...
This is definitely that this could be that late race caution we were talking about earlier. Do we see people come onto pit road, or do they stay out?
I see just got coming in, maybe.
Looks like everybody's staying out. No, we got some takers.
We got some takers, the 8 and the 14.
2 cars take it. They're takers here, and they take some opting for those tires.
So Connor will get his wave around. That will put him on the lead lap, and so will Florida Boy. That also puts him on the lead lap. And who else needs a wave around?
I think Zombie does, yeah.
Zombie also will get that wave around as well. So you'll see Connor making his way throughout the field in that number 7 Air McLaren. And we will go green, I believe, this time around. So
are you not supposed to put Germex on your skin?
What?
What?
What do you mean?
Does Germex belong on your skin, like your legs and all that stuff?
I'm actually not sure.
Cause I just rubbed like a whole bunch of it on my leg.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's harmful, but like, I wouldn't do it.
Oh, it's in my leg now.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, that was something I really didn't want to know, but okay.
My leg is moisturized.
Oh, some car.
Oh, the 8.
What's happening in there?
Parts have been taken off of cars. That's the 9. His front nose.
They're all going slow.
The 9's front nose. That'll extend the caution by at least a lap. So that'll give time for Connor to catch up and for Florida Boy to get his lap back. But what happened there?
What happened? Looks like the 8 car just tried to put it too wide into that corner and just kind of screwed over the 9.
Oh, no. There's a big stack up. What happened up there is what happened, because there was a massive stack up right up here.
Let's see.
Looks like it happened with Tub.
Yeah, right there, he just checks up. Looks like he hits the wall.
He's stuck in 6th.
I think he got stuck in the gear or something.
Yeah, Tub stuck in 6th gear. That is weird that you get stuck in a gear like that. And he stacks everybody up, and that causes people in the back to go ahead and start swerving out to the side. And you see Comrade Hill swerve to the outside. They stack up. I don't know why the 5. The 5 also had a little bit of a gear issue, as he wouldn't get going. He'd go, and then he kind of stopped for a second, and then...
Very interesting late race stuff going on here. And then just puts it on the inside there and just... Looks like he... Ooh.
I think that might have been the 9's fault just a bit for...
Hard hit to the wall. I guess he wasn't actually expecting the 5 to be there, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think the 8 was supposed to be there at all.
Or the 8 was... I don't think he was expecting... Looks like the 8 kind of gave him a little bit of a tap there.
maybe, as we are going to go green this time, which...
It's surprising because we did just have that incident.
Yeah, but...
Sucks for the 9 team. They were having a good run. Sucks for them.
Hopefully, I mean, they will get their attendance boost since they are here, and everyone else will. So, hopefully for Indy, keep in mind, Indy 500, next race on the schedule, hopefully they can have a better race there.
Looks like he's still on the lead lap, so that's good for him. He's still got that front wing damage. I expect him... Looks like he got it fixed.
Well, they're on the lead lap so far.
That's good for them. It's a lead lap. Nope, they're a lap down.
But no, they're not even out on the track right now because I think that suspension
Oh.
when they hit the wall also broke just a bit. So I wouldn't expect them to get back out until, you know, we're even
Later.
going green.
Later in the race.
So Connor is back out on the lead lap once more.
But that would be what the 9 team wants is a caution. They are the first car lap down that we give them the free pass. So if a caution comes out sooner or later, that would give the 9 its lap back, their lap back, and they could, you know, race for a couple more positions than what they're getting right now.
Yeah, and that'll be really interesting. But keep in mind, JustCon, with a good jump, every restart, but now that the 77 and the 12 and all those guys have had a chance to warm their tires, what do you think about that now?
Definitely think the 77 and all them is going to kind of push it a little bit here, I guess, kind of into turn 1. And just, I guess, see what happens.
And 8K, what about you?
I'll say that.
I feel like the 51 is going to do something cool.
He's going to do something cool.
Yeah, but I mean, think about this. Push to pass. Most of these drivers have 10 seconds. You know, JustCon has 9 seconds. Camry has 10 seconds. You know, 9, 10, 8, 10, 9, 10. Most of these drivers have 10 or 9 seconds. One person that doesn't have that will be Water. He has 8 seconds as green flag.
What do we see here? Do we see anybody use that push to pass here heading into turn 1?
Yes, we see that 77. He's using it right now. Sijafari. Everybody in the field except for JustCon, Tub, and Water, and also 8K. Everyone disabling it just before this corner. And the 12!
Oh, Camry.
Almost flipping.
Tub almost goes up and over on that curb there.
Almost
That could have been
flips.
disastrous for that 12 team. If he would have went up and over, that could have been disastrous for that 12 team there. As Camry takes the defensive line to the corner.
That really could have been bad for that 12 team. Look at this. Look at the 60. He's going to try to make a move. The 12's going to block it off.
Big run here. This is getting very interesting here later in the race.
Yes, and like we said, these drivers are going to start getting more and more aggressive. The later on in the race we get...
Looks like we've got something going on in the back of the pack. Looks like we got a couple drivers trying to make a move there.
I think the 3...
Cool car guy trying to make a move there. Not going to be able to make it
I
there.
think he's losing positions.
Actually, yeah, he lost a position, it looks like there.
Owen! Contact!
Oh, contact!
Big contact.
Contact there between the 3 and that, I think that's the 14.
Florida involved in a crash early on. I think he still has some of that aero damage. I think he didn't repair the front wing, yes.
And the 9 is still on pit road. Looks like they might be done.
No, I mean, I think their chances of winning the race might be done, but they're definitely going to get back onto the race as we have 10 laps to go here. Camry falling back once more as JustCon still in the lead. He's starting to pull away. Now, what do we see by, you know, Tub and Citrafari? Does Citrafari be able to make the move this time by?
As of right now, it doesn't look like it.
He could if he, like, gets that in that slipstream. That slipstream works perfectly for him, and Tub messes up. But he could, but I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off this time by.
Yeah, it looks like the
And
3
a
might be
little
a bit
3-car
slow.
pack in the back there. 3-car pack.
Back to the front. I think we might want to take a look back at why did the 14 stack up?
Yeah, let's
JustCon's
go
in the
back and
pits.
look at that. JustCon's in the pits.
What?
Whoa. Big changes here. I wonder why.
He's probably thinking that there's going to be another caution.
Yeah, that's what he's hoping. At least that's what he's hoping for.
As look, this is the 12. He's right behind the 77. Is this when we see our first battle for the lead? I think we start to see the 77 pull away just a little bit, but honestly, with the 12 being that close, this is the closest we've ever seen first to second in this race.
Definitely. I feel like it could be something go down. As we see a couple guys, looks like Camry's going to take that defensive line into the corner. And he's trying to keep those cars behind, that hungry field behind him at bay.
And now it's Camry versus Tub. Tub and Camry have been 2 and 3 almost this entire race, and they've just trying to get this race win. They're probably going to be battling it out for the rest of the race, but they can't get the third place car.
But the question is, does Tub have any push to pass left in his car?
Tub has 7 seconds left of that push to pass in his car.
Do we see him use that? Do we see him use that?
Camry also has 7. And they both use it right now, down this straightaway. They're both using it.
Looks like a lot of people are using push to pass here. Good news there for Tub as he doesn't almost flip on that curve this time.
Tub was just a tad bit slower on that last lap than Camry, but honestly, Tub, I think we could see Tub make an aggressive move on the last coming of laps, and he's going to try to
make it now, but Camry just keeps on always using that defensive line.
Look at the 60.
Ooh, Citrafari goes a little wide.
He has to block off the 26 as well.
Tub had a great exit right there, but Camry had one too, but I mean, just wasn't good enough to capitalize.
Camry just continues to take. Oh, Camry locks it up a little bit there.
That's going to allow Tub to get even closer. Mind, Tub does have that front aero wing damage from whenever he had a bit of contact earlier.
Do you see that come into play now, or do we see it come into play?
I think we see it come into play now.
I mean, I don't think it's going to come into play at all this race, because you saw once they were coming out of that final turn, Tub was right behind his bumper. He almost hit it. So, I mean, Tub is still fast with that aero damage, probably.
Yes. I think now we're starting to see them use a lot of that push to pass. And, you know, to think that this race is, you know, keep in mind, they don't have a playoff format like NASCAR does. Instead, it's just whoever has the best amount of points. So consistent finishes is very important. I think right now, if you're Tub, you're thinking, I'd rather have a second-place finish than crash out this race.
Definitely. But if he does get that chance, I do believe he is going to try and send it in there and try and get that pass.
Especially that final turn. Tub is really good in that final turn.
Do we see him try and force an issue there?
Maybe. It all just depends on how close can he get.
But it all boils down to this. What if he takes him and Camry out and Citrafari manages to get by and get that lead?
Yeah.
Citrafari, P3 so far. Has been P4 for a little bit until just caught in pit.
Yeah. Right now, Just Con is just hoping for a late race caution as we come up on 5 to go.
I wonder what Just Con's crew chief was thinking. Probably that a caution was going to come out, but
doesn't look like it. Looks like we're going to stay green to the rest of this race.
Anything could happen, but I mean, from the looks of it, it's very rare.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be very rare if a caution does come out right now, as everybody's just kind of single-filed out, trying to stretch it to the end.
Yeah, keep in mind, if you're trying to stretch it to the end, there's a balance between trying to stretch it and just staying back. I think these drivers right now, coming to 5 to go this time, they need to start pushing their car to the absolute limit. As you see the 77 just trying to break the toe from the 12 away. If the 12 were to just go down there and get that toe, this whole race would have been changed.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody. Every time somebody tries to take the defensive line, none of the cars behind him go with him. They all just kind of stay in a straight line trying to, I don't know.
You can see the comparison between Tub and Camry in that final turn. I believe Tub sends it a little bit faster than Camry. And then he gets on the brakes later.
Oh!
As Camry makes a mistake.
It's going to get Tub right there, right on the back bumper of that 77 car. So he went a little wide in turn 1. That might have actually benefited him there, as he has now opened up a smaller gap. Tub staying right there with him, though.
Yeah, that's now 2 to 3 car lengths separating the two. But, of course, that 77 taking the inside line, look how much Tub was able to take that down. Only 1.5 car lengths, maybe 2 car lengths now separate the two. Now into turn 8. Do we see anyone make a mistake this time by? No.
No, it doesn't look like it. Only thing Tubbs hoping is if that 77 slips up just enough for him to make a move. Right here. Well, does he make a mistake there? No, he doesn't.
Tubb gained a lot of time right there.
Tubb is right on the back bumper going through that turn with 5 to go here, coming up on 4 to go.
Just look how big that gap gets when they go down the straightaway. It's the same time, yes, but it is such a bigger gap because they're going just so fast. And I think that is really what we're seeing right now is just these cars
into turn
wanting to
1.
push.
Does Camry slip up going into turn 1? Does that allow Tubb? Doesn't look like it this time. At this point, I feel like Tubb should just kind of risk it all here and just kind of send it on him and see if it works out. If it doesn't, then oh well, you tried, I guess. Or maybe he'll do it with 1 to go.
Mind, if a caution comes out this time, we will get back racing with the white flag.
So it'd be a 1-lap dash for the win.
Yes, and if caution comes out right now, then Camry might win the race. And, you know, there's always that chance of what if this happens, what if that happens. And that is always something that you're going to look at as a driver. What if a late race caution comes out and I lose this race? That's what I think Camry's thinking.
Go to overtime.
Keep in mind, there is no overtime, though.
Oh, I didn't know that about IndyCar. I don't watch enough.
No, it's just an iRacing thing.
Really? iRacing just doesn't have overtime?
They do in, like, official races, but not in AI yet.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's 3 laps to go here. Camry's still out front. Do we see any other drivers try and get a little more aggressive?
I want to see Tubb go for a big dive.
Could work, could not.
Doesn't look like much is going to happen here with just a couple more laps to go.
Yeah, look at that gap. It's kind of gotten a bit bigger, and I want to put my attention on the 60 now. As Camry most likely winning this race, and it's going to be the 12 versus the 60 for that win.
Well, the real question is, what if Camry ends up hitting the wall, and that allows the 12 to get by?
I mean, yeah, those are all really, really good questions, as I think we might have saw the 12 have a little mistake on entry there, not getting as close to the wall, not having a wider as entry. We're seeing the 51 be fast on track currently, but with only 2 laps to go now when they cross the line, he's way too far back. I mean, not even with the pack yet. So,
No, definitely not.
I think it's crew
There's
chief.
no way that it doesn't have any chance here. Crew chief made a big mistake on that 51 team.
I mean, that's kind of why you don't really rely on cautions.
Little lock up there. That's why you don't bank on late race cautions, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's a big risk you have to take, and sometimes you get rewarded with it, sometimes you don't. And the 51 team did not.
But then we see Tubb kind of make a move in that final corner where he's been so good compared to that 77 car.
And actually, what I want to tell you guys right now, nobody has any push to pass in the 60 into the wall. That might bring out a late race caution, and it will.
The yellow flag comes out. Does that mean Camry is going to get the win?
It might. If we cannot get to the green flag fast enough, Camry wins this race.
That was a hard hit for the 60
Hard hit
there.
for the 60. If this would have happened 1 lap earlier, we would have gone in a, you know, last lap sprint. But let's see what happened to the 60. I think it's the same of what we've just been seeing all day.
I guess just got slipped up there a little bit. Ooh, that's a hard hit. Looks like the car behind him, I think that's water, got a little bit of damage to him.
Hard hit into that tire barrier.
Just looks like he locked it up, actually. Ooh, and then looks like water got him a little bit there.
And that is the second time that water has been that close to a wreck. So, it will be final when we cross the line this time. Camry will have won this race in a,
wins
caution
the opening.
finish.
Wow. Well, that was a really boring race, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, this is a road course. But, keep in mind, as ratings will go down, it'll be more fun.
Guys, IndyCar should go to Talladega.
Daytona.
I like that idea. Let's put IndyCar on Talladega and see what happens.
IndyCar Daytona, huh?
IndyCar on the Daytona road course. Honestly, that doesn't sound too bad.
Banking. Destroyed.
Haha, cargo boom.
Alright, Just Cotton's crew chief's gonna get a 1-star rating.
He gets that 1-star rating on crewchiefs.com. Like, hired him from Yelp or something. Fiverr.com crew chief. Be funny. Like a Fiverr crew chief. He paid $5, just pays him, like, randomly.
As the 77 will take the checkered flag this time, and he will win the
Appreciate
first.
Pit. Force Camry, disqualify Camry.
Imagine they all come down pit road like before they take
An illegal overtake.
and like illegal overtake.
And Just Con stays out.
Like they all pit and Just Con stays out, which would technically give him the win, but they probably just give it to Camry because like physics.
Yeah.
I love the way the pace car doesn't just turn; it just kind of like goes straight. It's like nobody's gonna bring it down pit road. This will end the race right here.
Yeah, and I mean, keep in mind, this race will end underneath caution, but next race here in the NTT IndyCar Series will be at Indianapolis, where it is an oval, different setup on the cars, different wing, different everything.
That could definitely be interesting. Let's hope that racing is a little bit better than this.
So, the 77 will win this race, and he will get the first win of the iRacing Sim Series Season 2. In second will be Tub Water. In third, then it'll be AK, Mullet Man, Cam, Chris, Juan, Connor, and Just Con.
Just Con battling back for a strong top 10 here.
Then you have Cool Car Guys, Zombie, Citrafari, Florida, Comrade. And that is your race finish here today, and man.
What a boring race. Okay.
Now keep in mind what we could do instead.
Redo it.
No. What we could do is, because we did this race today, any chances that y'all maybe want to run some NASCAR tomorrow?
That'd be fun if you did. Maybe if you did it. I don't know. Tomorrow's Sunday. I don't know. It depends on what time you do it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's most likely going to be next week. Because
yeah, that'd probably be better, to be honest.
Just practice and qualifying and all that.
Probably better to do it on like a Saturday or something when nobody's got anything really to do.
Yep.
If you think about it. So.
Colt, look in your stream chat.
What?
Colt, look in your stream chat.
Hold on, I gotta look at this. Oh, there's a scammer.
Well, anyways, I'm gonna go get some food, guys. Race is cool. Bye, guys.
That Just Con is Justin Connor Just Con. I think I didn't know Just Con's name was Just Con's like rating his crew chief like he's actually rating his crew chief 1 out of 10.
All right, and that is the first race of the series.
A very boring opening to the season. I don't think we're gonna get a lot of feedback as ratings are now down to 5 people in total.
Well, no, we had 6 people at one point, so
ratings. The scam bot and that thing. I find that funny. Well, that's it for us. We'll be signing now.
Hold on. Not that early. Not that early. We gotta overview the race. Give me a second. Yeah, I know. It's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it?
The gift keeps on giving of the worst race of all frickin' time. This is worse than the Daytona frickin' 500. God.
Now let's review over this race. We've been live for an hour and 30 minutes, and honestly,
0 out of not allow mode.
Single file, but keep in mind these drivers are pushing, and these drivers are really good, so it's hard to overtake like that. But definitely next race Indianapolis 500. 100 laps of non-stop Indianapolis racing. And keep in mind, how this race is gonna go is, since it was a race, your points will go down by 2 for IndyCar.
Since race, your points will go down by 2.
So that is what will happen if you did not attend, or if you didn't say anything in general, or if you didn't say anything on the YouTube live stream. You will have your thing go down. So the people that will go up right now, 8K, Comrade, JustCon, and Connor are the only 4 drivers keeping their 100. Everyone else drops down to a 98. 98. So, definitely going to be very interesting at Indianapolis. This is Comrade and Colt in the iRacing Sim Series booth, signing off. IndyCar.